Hi, VIPKid teachers. My name is Trisha Daw, and welcome to what has kind of been with all my other videos, my top 5 with Trish. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead with that going forward. I don't know, it just seems like I always just give my top 5 tips. So I'm not gonna stop now. I'm gonna go with my top 5 tips for brand new VIPKid teachers with how to work on camera. I feel like Madonna. Vogue. Vogue. So the first thing we want to talk about is lighting. Oh, I'm like an angel with this light shining. No, that's not true. That's the light shining. I like to call these my stage lights. Lights, camera, action. Good. I actually had a floor lamp here at the house. Actually came with the house. The people who sold us the house left a bunch of stuff, and I was like, nah, let's not get rid of it. Let's just keep it around. And it worked really well for what I needed it for. It looks just like this. Yes. So there are 2 lights on this lamp. I actually got a second one from Walmart. So I have 2 lower lamps and 2 higher lamps. The higher lamps shine up and the lower lamps shine in. And so I have these at 45-degree angles from my face. And I'm trying to minimize shadows on my face. So as you can see, I'm holding it up right in front of the light here. And there's a little bit of a shadow, but watch when I turn it off. Blink. Yeah, it's not great, right? It's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. So we want to make sure we have these stage lights on. Ba-bow. And ta-da! You can see everything pretty brightly. So I purchased 4. Well, I take that back. Credit where credit's due. My husband purchased 4 100-watt LED daylight bulbs. So anybody who comes into my classroom, I'm in our second master bedroom closet, so it's all closed off with a couple of different doors. And anybody who comes in or opens the door goes, oh, how do you do it? Don't you get a headache? I do not. Some VIPKid teachers have expressed that they get headaches sometimes from some bright lights. So what they do is they will take a cloth, a thin cloth, or if you use the 100-watt LED bulbs, they are very bright, but they don't get hot. So they might use a white grocery store bag, I guess, and put it over as a diffuser to diffuse that light, which helps them a lot. So that's one idea that you can use, but lighting is probably number 1 and the most important. Your key is bright lights at 45-degree angles from you, and you also want to diffuse that if you are light sensitive. So that'll help you going forward. There are a trillion videos. Teacher Michael has a nice video, a really good video. Teacher Jennifer has a really good video. So check those ones out too. You might be able to get some more information there. But those are my top couple of ideas I want you to keep in mind when you're thinking about classroom lighting. So number 2 of my top tips when it comes to your classroom and working on camera is your background. Your background. Yes, I know. This was the most exciting part for me because I have a little bit of an issue with hoarding props and things. And for me, I don't like blank space. I don't like simple. A lot of VIPKid teachers love simple. They may have a poster back behind them and it works really well for them. And they might have a little name tag, so to speak. And that's pretty much all they have. Maybe a couple of tassels around the top with different decorations like stars or tassels. For me, if you can't tell, I have a personal problem. Yes, my husband actually for Mother's Day just recently had built this classroom for me. Ah, I love him so much. He's the best. Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, I am in our second master bedroom closet. And it's all open shelving in here. So he actually from scratch built panels, 4 panels, and he painted them different colors so that they would be visually appealing to the children. And because these panels are not stationary, he actually installed 2 sliding closet door tracks. They were about 13 bucks at Lowe's. And these panels will open with storage back behind. But what the coolest thing is that, look, I can, and in my regular classroom, you see about this much to about this much is all you're going to see in the VIPKid window. So this panel and this panel are actually extra storage for me. So sometimes I might do something like this. I might get this ready and I might bring this over, ignore all of the crap that I have in there, and I can change my background in 2 seconds in between classes. So maybe I might have a special thing that I want to do for my next student. Maybe he loves this reward and I have a big reward system. Maybe I wanted to use tooth, yes, and give them a tooth when they've done something well. But I like to keep this one here because I love the whiteboard and I love, this is actually a cork board that I covered with, it's kind of a green flannel, and felt sticks really well to it. So I got this at Target for about $3 and it is felt on the back, and all I have to do is stick it up there and a couple of pats and it stays. This is a color wheel, also felt. I don't have to stick it. I don't have to do anything with it. It just stays. So I found this cork board in the garage. Used to be my daughter's. It was all beat up. So I covered it and we're good. This up here is actually from the Dollar Tree. So I had purchased, these are removable wall stickers, and I put it on a blue piece of poster board. And I cut it out in an oval, and I put some stars on where the USA and where China is. Made a little oop, and I got Meg and Mike. I love flowers, so I put some flowers. It is spring at the time of this recording. I also made a VIPKid sign. Yes, Teacher Trisha, all the way up here. Good. And I have my alphabet, and I have, this is actually a piece of galvanized metal from Lowe's as well. I think I paid about $10 for that. So all my magnets stick to this as well. But if you decide to go the panel route, panels 1 and panel 4, I can't get this right, panel 1 and panel 4, you can't put anything too far out. Can't be too thick. So it can slide back and forth if you decide to go this route. But background. Now that you've seen my background and a little explanation of that, background is actually very important. So you want it to express you. For me, I have a crap ton of stuff here because that's the way that I am. I love for the children, when they're sick of looking at me for a second, they have something else to look at. They have a bunch of stuff to look at. But not just that. I can lunge and grab a sun real quick and say, sun, yes. And I can keep it on display for them to make that mental connection. Sun, sun, yes, good. So I like to have a lot of things at a glance and at one quick lunge. I lunge over here. I've got a yellow bus. I lunge over here. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got a yurt. Yes. I lunge over here and I have fish. Yes. Good. So I like to keep everything very close. Meow. Yes. So that's just the way that I like to have everything around me so I can grab it at a moment's glance, I guess, or moment's notice. I don't know what you say, but that sounds right. Anyway, background. You do you, but it has to be educational and you want it to look nice. So if you are a hoarder like I am with props and decorations, by all means have at it. The kids don't seem to complain. If you are more simple, have at it. The kids don't seem to complain. Okay? So you, do what's best for you. Don't spend a lot of money if you don't have it yet. If you aspire to have a crazy background like mine, wait a little while. That's what I did. I didn't start out like this. I built this up. It took some time. But number 2, background. So my third tip is all about body placement. Body placement. With my new classroom, I actually went to standing. I used to sit and now I stand. I feel like it's a game changer for me. I am much more interactive with my students. I'm keeping them more engaged because I'm able to move around. Ta-da. Walk like Ali. Yes. That's a level 1 song if you don't teach level 1. But just an example. I have a stool here that I sit in between my classes when my back starts bothering me. I used to be a mobile DJ. I carried all my own equipment when I was younger and I was a lot thinner. So my back is just bad. But look, I can sit here. Okay. So I'm sitting. You'll notice there's a lot of blank space up here. And in the VIPKid window, it'd be about here, where my head would probably be right around here. And I look like a floating head. Yes. No. Good. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure that your face is approximately right in the center of your background. That's going to be ideal. Okay. That way you have room above you to do TPR. You get a star. Yes. Or you want to also be about an arm's width away from your camera. That way they can see your mouth the way it moves when you pronounce things. When I pronounce things, I lean in just a little bit farther. Fish. When I want them to repeat, I put my hand up to my ear, I go in a little farther, and then I come back out. So there's some visual coming forward, there's some visual coming back. You're gaining interest from a visual perspective. Okay, so body placement is very important. You don't want, I'm gonna move this camera in a little bit, you don't want to be all the way up here. Hello, then no one can see your arms when you're moving them. And you don't want to look down on your students. You want them to be eye level with you. Oh, no, I can't fix it. I can't fix it. Oh, there we go. I had to move my laptop. Anyway, you want to be about eye level with your camera lens. That's going to be ideal. Okay, that way you can work with the student. You're not looking down on them and you're not looking up at them, but we're working together. It's a subconscious thing, right? So when I'm looking down on a student, they feel inferior and they're a little bit more shy and they don't want to do stuff, right? And if you're looking up at the student, if the student's looking up at you and you're looking down, they get that shy. But if you're looking, the opposite of that. So I'm down and the student's up, they feel like they can run all over you. Yeah, no, I'm not the inferior one. No, we're going to work together on this. Okay, so body placement, super important. Camera placement, super important. You want to make sure you get that right. So if you go from a sitting position to a standing position, I will show you a picture here very quickly. I went from sitting to standing, and I purchased a super cheap $16 two-tiered shelf from IKEA. And that is a perfect height for me to be able to plop my laptop on the top shelf. My camera's right at eye level. I have storage underneath and storage underneath here. So there's a lot of stuff I can grab right at a glance. Lion. Rah. And ice cream. Yes. Okay. So I have all my stuff kind of all right here. These are the ones that I use most often. In a lot of classes, I have all my trial stuff, and I have the stuff that I use most often right here. I can grab it, and they don't even know I'm grabbing it. Like Meg. Yes. Or Dino. See? No looking, Mom. Hey, Mom, look. No looking. Yeah, good. So that is my third tip. You want to make sure your body placement is A-okay. You've made it to tip number 4. I've been blabbing on for minutes and minutes. I don't even know how many minutes I've been blabbing on. But anyway, tip 4. Tip 4 is eye contact. It's really hard when you first start to be tempted. You want to look down at yourself here instead of up at your student here, right? So one tip I did when I first started, I did it for a few weeks, was, here we go. I have some Post-it notes here. I took off a Post-it note, and on the sticky side here, on the front, I drew a face. And I cut out the mouth of that face, and I put that right over top of my camera. You couldn't see that I had it over my camera, but it got me to keep looking at that camera. So I understand you need to look away just for a second to grab a prop, something like cheese. Yes, very good, right? So I understand that you might need to look down just for a second. Banana. Yes, okay, but don't do it for a long period of time. Okay, they will ding you on that. Suppose a parent calls and complains, you know, this teacher did this and blah, blah, blah. And they watch the playback of your video and they say, well, they look down. Yeah, we look down. We have to look down, right? We're taking notes. We're grabbing stuff. You get a star. Yes. So, I mean, we have to look away here and there. So don't let that scare you or deter you, right? My tip is, don't give parents any reasons to complain. Bring your A game every time. No complaints, no problems. Good. So eye contact. So that's my tip there. Create a little face. You can put it next to your camera. You can put it over your camera so that it triggers you to look in the right place for a long period of time through that 25-minute time period. So my final tip with working on camera, tip number 5 is shamelessness. Yes. Guess what? We are online ESL teachers, and being an online teacher is completely different from being a brick and mortar teacher. Yes, the children have the ability to interact with their peers in a classroom. They have a chance to do group work. They have a chance to interact with you, but they're self-sufficient. A child through an online classroom has one focus. That one focus, you guessed it, it's you. Right? So you need to do everything that you need to do to make sure that you are engaging that student continuously. So I teach lower levels, level 1 and level 2, and sometimes level 3. Right now, I'm in the level 1 only program, which means I only teach 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. So for me, shamelessness, I had to get over it pretty quickly. Any inhibitions I had, any shyness I had, any reservations I had about being a new online teacher, out the window. I had to. Yes. So I don't get to have a bad day because you want to know why? Those kids need you. Those kids need you. So it will come with practice, but you will eventually learn how to turn it off and turn it on. Anytime this camera goes, oh, I'm on. I am on, shameless, dorky, ridiculous, the whole 9. But you know what? Those kids eat up every moment, and I have very little number of open spots left. So that's my trick, my tip. So if you like teaching lower level students, they like interactive, crazy, fun teachers, something to keep their attention. You have, maybe, if you've ever had children or seen one before, you know that they need a lot of visual stimulation. These kids are constantly on their cell phones. They're playing games, they're watching videos. Guess what? Those games and videos are way more exciting than an online teacher, right? So I do what I can to make sure I am as exciting as possible. So I will act out superheroes, Hulk, smash, right? I will sing like a princess for the first time in forever. There'll be music, there'll be light, right? So I will do anything possible, and having a standing desk really helped me with that. I can twirl, I can jump, I can do anything I need to do to make sure that that child is looking at me. Yes, good. So that is my final tip, shamelessness. I recommend it for lower level students. Not everyone is the preschool teacher cheerleader type, but that works really well for me. I get really good results from it. And if you're not that kind of person, you don't have to be. Please know that you don't have to be. Okay? You can be whatever teacher you want to be. But I find that it works really well for me. I get a lot of bookings. Kids seem to keep coming back. So that works well for me. You do you. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment below. Let me know what works well for you. Let me know of other tips that we can share with new teachers for working on camera. And thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.